What you know about the underground?
In the world of comics, we have seen far too many superheroes with tragic stories. Either it's an orphaned son, a missing sibling, or just someone who has had extremely bad luck. These superhero stories are alive and captivating, but one comic that has stood out since its initial release in 2015 is Doom Patrol. I think fans will agree on what is so unique about the series. Doom Patrol introduces a team of unusual heroes who suffer from tragic circumstances and are usually shunned by society. They are extraordinary, but they never believed they were heroes. At the center of this unique series is Crazy Jane, a complex and kaleidoscopic member of the Doom Patrol. Crazy Jane had no powers until she was experimented upon in the sanatorium that gave each of the personalities she conceived a specific power. Some fans also believe that she gets her powers after being exposed to the alien denominator's gene bomb. In this video, we are going to get into the depths of the origin of Crazy Jane's personality, which according to sources was 64 or more, and her trauma, which only adds to her power in the show. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Hammerhead, it's me.
I know who you are, bag.
Crazy Jane's childhood. Crazy Jane captivates us with her complex personality and courage. But what makes her who she is? Like all members of the Doom Patrol, Crazy Jane was marred by a tragic childhood, an assault inflicted on her by her father. Jane, who was then named Kay Chalice, is playing jigsaw puzzles and is interrupted by Arthur, her father. Her father is ruthless and throws her favorite toy into the well, which actually symbolizes her descent into the abyss of her mind. Arthur then proceeds to assault her while her mother stays in the kitchen, silent. After this tragic incident by her very own father, who was supposed to protect her, Kay develops dissociative identity disorder, DID, and changes her personality to Miranda. Miranda stayed with Kay until she was the victim of an attempted rape in a church on an Easter Sunday, which brought on all the flashbacks of her father's assault and led to the destruction of Miranda's personality. The subsequent assault reinforced her dissociative behavior and produced many different personalities. Or then Kay's immense trauma was the catalyst that led to a plethora of separate personalities developed out of a necessity to cope with the anguish she had faced. These personalities act like diverse facets of her psyche, bringing different emotions and experiences, all encapsulated into the Crazy Jane character. By the way, a fun trivia. Did you know that one of Crazy Jane's personas, Baby Doll, is obsessed with a doll named Polly, which represents the pain of her father tossing her cherished toy down the well when she was a child? Let me know if you know a few more crazy facts about Jane in the comments below. Coming back, after the destruction of her personality of Miranda, Jane faces another trial in her life. Her father is put on life support when she is just 17, and she is convinced by the doctors to get rid of the life support. Jane ends up pulling the plug on her father, making her believe that she is the reason for his death. Crazy Jane's entry into the Doom Patrol. Anyway, coming back to how Crazy Jane made it to Doom Patrol. With a fractured personality, she fought and was deeply affected by the alien denominator's gene bomb during the invasion. Each personality had a different power. As we know, Flint could teleport, and Black Honest had retractable claws. Her powers stopped her from aging, making her look like a young adult throughout the series and the live-action adaptation. After the gene bombing, she was admitted to an institution alongside Cliff Steele, a fellow Doom Patrol member, while Magnus, the man who created Metal Men and a team member of Doom Patrol, assigned Cliff to take care of Jane. Cliff tries talking to Jane while she is in a rain painting. As he tries to talk to her, the painting jumps off and melts in the rain. This is done by one of Jane's personalities, Hangman's beautiful daughter. Soon after this, Jane takes a pilgrimage back to her childhood home and overcomes her fears. Convinced that none of her previous alter egos hold any superpowers anymore, she felt like she could finally be happy. She returned to the Doom Patrol as a far more content and balanced person who had let go of her fatal fear. She was soon attacked by Candlemaker, a powerful entity that was originally from the astral plane and created from fears and nightmares of the world. Candlemaker, as we know, is one of the greatest enemies of the Doom Patrol to fulfill his destiny, which is killing everyone in the world. Jane was thrown into another dimension, like the real world. She was admitted as a schizophrenic and treated with shock therapy. Cliff takes it as his mission to rescue Jane, which requires going inside Jane's mind and into the underground and saving her. We will talk more about the underground in a few minutes. Cliff ends up going inside, helping Jane fight her demons, or to say her personalities, and rescue her. Cliff becomes Jane's best friend and surrogate father, and they proceed to live together on Danny's The World. However, this relationship ends as soon as Jane realizes that she still possesses different powers, and Cliff leaves her and returns to Earth, partly because he is afraid of her, though they had constant arguments which Cliff blames. The theatricality of craziness. Crazy Jane's live-action adaptation in Doom Patrol. In the Doom Patrol 2015 version, Jane, along with other Doom Patrol members, appear throughout the season to fight different enemies. However, since we are talking about Jane's origins here, we will be sticking to the very start of her journey into Doom Patrol. Jane is guided by Niles, the chief who brings together the Doom Patrol with Rita Starr, Larry, Cliff, and Jane. Rita is the actress who loses her face, and Larry is the pilot who burns his entire skin in a plane crash and survives. Cliff, who soon becomes Jane's best friend and surrogate father, is a car driver who loses his complete body except for his brain. Niles brings together his whole body and makes him functional, bringing Cliff back to life. This is why Jane falls willingly into the whirlwind caused by Mr. Nobody, an enemy who kidnaps Niles, the chief. Jane does not hesitate to follow. After Jane does fall, the whirlwind goes away, revealing nothing but a ruined town. Cliff decides to search for Niles as well, while others are still hesitant.
What did you expect, Cliff? We're not heroes.
Larry and Rita try their best to leave, but are unable to. Cyborg, or Vic, who comes to Clovertown after he hears about Niles, watches with amusement as Cliff tries to run behind a donkey, the only animal to have survived in the whole town of Clovertown. The donkey spits out Jane, who is brought back to the Doom Mansion by Cliff and Vic, reuniting the team. The episode further explores how Jane's personalities come out, one after another, not revealing what exactly happens to Niles until much later. This also leads to a fight between Cyborg and Crazy Jane, which Cliff defuses. In the end, they come together to save Niles, only to get to know through Mr. Nobody that all their superpowers and lives were meddled with. Mr. Nobody proves that their accidents were engineered by no one else but Niles. This breaks the Doom Patrol team apart, and each carries on with their lives until much later when they unite to search for Dorothy, the chief's daughter. The multifaceted personalities, navigating the 64 distinct personalities. Coming back to Jane, as we already know, each of Jane's personalities lives in a place called Underground in her mind. Kay created each of these personalities while she faced any kind of trauma, or when she remembered her tragic incident with her father. The Underground is a vast space with a conductor, Driver 8, who is also one of Jane's personalities. Driver 8 handles the Underground and each of the personality stations. In the Underground inside Jane's mind, each personality lives at a different station, while the bottommost level, named the Well, is where the personalities go to destroy themselves. The Well, as you may have already figured, is the same well where Jane's father, Arthur, had thrown her favorite toy. While trying to save Jane from collapsing, Cliff forays into her mind and meets different personalities in her mind in the comic series. In the live action, this part is explained by a different storyline. One is where Cliff goes through the Underground maps and different tapes of Jane and Chief's interrogations. This makes it more visually impactful and delivers the message. Fun fact, did you know that Crazy Jane is the dominant personality with no superpowers? She also has no control over which personality takes over at what time, except that she has excellent survival skills, and these personalities come out when Jane is under great stress or danger. The original personality is that of K5, K Chalice, who is sleeping somewhere deep beneath, in the Underground, and has remained passive since an incident with her father when she was 5 years old. Miranda was the second most noticeable personality that Jane possessed. Miranda handled all of Jane's personalities, but when she was the victim of an attempted rape, she descended to the lower levels and destroyed herself. Following this, Crazy Jane became the dominating personality, leading her to confinement in a mental institution very soon after. Other personalities were Lisa Radley, who pushed Jane to recovery while threatening other personas, Daddy, an insect and puzzle piece imprint of Jane's father that was destroyed when Jane visited her childhood home. Trivia time! Did you know that Sylvia, Jane's claustrophobic personality, believes that she will be able to leave the room she's stuck in if she can write the poem through fragmented words? This was inspired by, you guessed it, Sylvia Plath, who herself had a rather depressing life. Jane made 64 personalities, from Black Anubis, Hammerhead, and Lady Purple to the Weird Sisters, which was a 3-in-1 personality. However, each personality was nothing but self-defense that Jane created to get over one trauma, and all that she received was a reminder from the world which was too good to live through. This can be shown through instances in the show, when she remembers Cliff's daughter, Clara's birthday, and takes the team to town to get her a gift, among many other instances like this. Doom Patrol highlights this beautiful contrast between how we are all losers who ultimately lose, but being good to others regardless of that. That is the key message. Marvelous verdict. To summarize, Crazy Jane's journey from the pages of Doom Patrol comics to the live-action version has been nothing short of remarkable. The character's stormy history, multifaceted personalities, and triumph over adversity have entrenched her as a superhero genre legend. Crazy Jane's story serves as a reminder that even amid the darkest of times, strength and healing can be found. We are hooked by her intriguing character as we continue to observe her transformation and maturation in the Doom Patrol series, eagerly anticipating each twist and turn. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.